Cruise news time. And well, I hope you've got your deodorant on because these cruise news stories will make you sweat, including a story about a man who was hassled for money during a medical evacuation. We've got a story of cancellation. And should Carnival Cruise Line start handing out nicotine patches on embarkation day? We got trouble when it comes to smoking. Cruise news and my views. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news and views for your face. For your face on Wednesday the 22nd of May, 2024. And let's kick off the show with this tale of woe. Look at this gentleman right here. His name is Vincent Wozni, and this is a picture from back in December 2022 when he took ill on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship, having 3 seizures within a 10-hour period. When the seizures began, they were not close enough to shore to medically evacuate Mr. Wozni, but eventually they were close enough to shore to evacuate Mr. Wozni. And that's where it gets interesting. Imagine this scenario. You're getting lowered on a stretcher down to a rescue boat. Your fiance is climbing a rope ladder down the side of a cruise ship into a rescue boat. And before you're allowed to depart for medical attention in the rescue boat, well, they present you with your medical bill. He had gotten medical treatment on the cruise ship. He had racked up a $2,700 bill for his cruise. And, well, Royal Caribbean, they wanted their assurance of payment before they allowed the guy to go get further medical attention. And this isn't unusual. And I don't think it's localized just to Royal Caribbean. The guy didn't have any insurance. He didn't have regular insurance. He didn't have travel insurance. He didn't have $2,700. So they emptied out their bank accounts and they gave the credit card and they promised to pay. And then they were allowed to go on their way, where he got treatment in Florida and got more medical bills as an uninsured person. They came away from it a little bit shocked. I bring this story up for a couple reasons. It's eye-opening. It's something that we should all be aware of as seasoned cruisers, as new cruisers. It should not be shocking that the cruise line want the bill paid. Okay, that shouldn't be shocking. And then it should not be shocking to realize that sometimes when you travel, calamity ensues. I've seen so many people in social media, I never get the travel insurance, I like the risk of it all or whatever. Nothing is a problem until it's a problem. We could go out to Google and search these conditions out and you'll find 10s and 20s, maybe 100 stories of people who did not get travel insurance that had calamity and then they got into some sort of financial challenge. The picture that I'm showing of this gentleman here is from his GoFundMe page because he had to get the GoFundMe to pay off his bills. Twofold. The cruise lines are going to want their money. So whether you run up a big gambling debt, whether you get a medical debt, whether you drink too much, whether you buy too many pictures, whatever way you get enticed to use your shipboard account to run up a bill, they're going to want their money before you get off the cruise ship. And believe this, if you don't pay their bill, they're going to yank you out of line and not let you off the cruise ship. And for goodness sakes, get some travel insurance that has some emergency medical coverage in it. Check your credit card, see if there's some emergency medical coverage in it. And look, know that travel insurance policy inside and out. Is it a policy where you have to lay the money out first and then get it back in reimbursement? Is there some sort of emergency proviso there where they're going to lay out the money for you as part of the policy, like for medical evacuation? It's complicated, but it's important. Another cautionary tale for us to reflect on as this poor gentleman has recounted his story of being asked to pay $2,700 before his medical evacuation could be completed. So I recently had an epiphany, probably something that was glaring right in my face, but I like different smells. I like the smell of salt water. I like the scent of a woman. Hoo-ah! I like it when my lady smells good. And then I also like it when I'm sitting here and I smell good. I've been experimenting lately with colognes that contain some sort of wood element. And normally experimenting with cologne can be an expensive endeavor, but that's not the case for me. That's why I'm thankful for the sponsor of today's episode, Scentbird. I recently got a couple new wood-based fragrances from Scentbird. This is their Icons Chrome, and this is DS and Durga's Radio Bombay. Now, for instance, the Radio Bombay has both sandalwood overtones and cedar. I use my handy dandy travel size Scentbird applicator to it's got coconut in there too. Add a little wood smell to my life. But like I said, it can be a little expensive to sample fragrances, but honestly not with Scentbird. It's a monthly subscription service, $16.95 a month. You get to pick out a brand new fragrance each month. They've got name brands that you know like Prada and Versace, but then they also have niche brands like Parfums de Marly, Roja, and you can get a discount on your first month. It's only gonna cost you $8. The beautiful thing about experimentation is that you can land on a fragrance that nobody else is wearing. You can find some uniqueness that way. Use my promo code LLL555 when you click the link in the description or scan this QR code. That will give you your first month 55% off, around $8 for your first month. There's no better deal than that. A big thanks to Scentbird for sponsoring today's episode. Cruise news story number 2, also a shocking cruise news story, but shocking in a different way. Oceania, they're cacawing their brand new cruise ship, the Allura, coming out in 2025. The first cruise set to happen late July 2025. Well, now they're notifying guests booked on that inaugural cruise, that very first cruise, that, well, we're going to be done early, and we're going to put another cruise in front of the first cruise, and you guys have first crack at booking that since you've already booked the first cruise. This happened with the Utopia. We've seen it happen with other cruise ships where the ship's going to come out a week early, and people who thought they were going to be the first ones on board were angry. I was going to be first. But torches and pitchforks aside, listen to the facts about this cruise ship. A little ostentatious. 1 chef for every 10 guests, 1,200 guests to be served by 800 crew members, 5 specialty dining venues, a new onboard creperie, a luxurious library with floor-to-ceiling glass walls. I don't know. I wouldn't mind trying this Oceania out. Have you been on Oceania? Is this luxury cruising at its finest? Would you like to try this new cruise ship out? Would you be angered? Would you be upset if you were on the inaugural sailing of a ship only to find out that you've been usurped by a surprise cruise before it? Leave a comment below. I can't read your mind, but I see you now as we're laying in the darkness while I wait too long to turn the lights back on. Shout out Ludacris, and of course that was a long way to go to get to a story about the lights not being on. The lights being off on the world's largest cruise ship just launched back in January. A few days ago, for some unknown reason, the Icon of the Seas lost power. And there's some speculation, because it's all being pieced together on social media. Was the power out for 10 minutes? Was the power out for an hour? Who knows? Who knows why the thing lost power? It is a machine, a bunch of systems, and it seems like all's well that ends well. Just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how new a thing is. It can still have issues. Power outages on these large vessels, a little scary, right? Thinking famously of the Carnival Triumph, the Poop Cruise, they lost power and it turned completely bad. And then, of course, you've got the Dali, the cargo ship that lost power, causing it to hit the Francis Scott Key Bridge. Scary stuff. Don't want to lose power. Don't want to be in an elevator when they lose power. Don't want to be out at sea when power is lost. But it happens. Part of that cruise life. Now, our next cruise news story is a warning coming from Virgin Voyages going to their first mates, which I think is the travel agent class, telling them to stop poaching customers on board or on social media. And by poaching customers, there's a thing that goes on in the travel agency world that if someone has an existing booking out there, they can transfer that booking to a travel agent, and that travel agent will benefit from the commission of that booking. They're saying don't do it. It's against their terms and conditions. No solicitation of guests on board. If you're a travel agent on board a Virgin Voyage ship, you shouldn't be out there hawking your wares while somebody is on their cruise vacation. The other scenario they're talking about, like there's a next cruise desk on Virgin where people are like interested in booking another Virgin cruise. Apparently there's people swooping in on that line while people are waiting in line going, hey, I can help you out with your next cruise. It's a sad reality. Look, we've been booking travel for a couple years. We're doing it less and less. I some of the nuance is really crappy. Like people are scrupulous, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but we've seen some poaching when we did the big vloggers cruise. The way the thing was set up, some people got incentivized to book people on that cruise, and we had people reach out to us where some people would approach them and say, "Hey, I know you normally book with Jenny from La Lita Loca, but maybe consider booking with me instead because I get some sort of kickback from somebody else if you book with me. So please scrap your loyalty to whoever you normally book with for my sake." And that's dirty. I also remember, I think I was in Cozumel, and we decided that we weren't going to be doing any more group cruises for a while, and there was somebody actually that approached people that were with us in our group saying, "Hey, I heard Tony and Jenny aren't going to be doing group cruises anymore, but I'm a travel agent and I work with people that do group cruises, so why don't you come on over and I'll show you some love." It's dirty. It's dirty. I don't know. Like, I guess all's fair in love and war and business and all that stuff. But Virgin Voyage is saying, "Hey, don't do it on our cruise ships. We don't like it. And we might revoke your ability to book with us or to be first mates or whatever." I guess that's the way the world is. But hopefully people have some decorum about them when it comes to poaching. When it comes to, everybody's got to eat. I get it. But shady. Now, I got a couple more stories to talk to you about. One, a cancellation, another about nicotine patches or what I think they should do. But before I get to those two stories, let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of these episodes. We're trying to get to our next milestone, 300,000 subscribers. We would love for you to be a part of that number here in the post-thyroid era. I'm throwing out all these references. If you know. But hey, it's free, doesn't cost anything, which would be the definition of free. It's included. It's included with your YouTube, your ability to subscribe. Just click subscribe, notification bell. That way you stay in the know. Thank you in advance. All right. Carnival Pride has just notified guests that 3 of its cruises will be cancellated. Guests that were booked on sailings from Baltimore between March the 29th and April the 12th, 2026 have been notified that the Pride will be making a move to the dry dock. Dry dock for enhancements and improvements. And because of that move, they're going to have to move their cruise to a different cruise ship, or they're going to have to get a full refund. This happens a lot in cruising too. I feel like a lot of the stories today are like, hey, just a reminder, this kind of stuff happens in cruising, but it's as cool as can be for those guests. They can transfer to a like type cruise with their price locked in. They're going to get a $50 onboard credit, maximum $100 onboard credit per stateroom, or you can fully, get your refund back. But did you get cancellated on these Pride cruises? Is today a sad day? Leave a comment below. Now, let's look at this little missive sent to Carnival brand ambassador John Heald. And I think really the reason I'm sharing this story, we've talked about smoking on cruise ships before, is I do have a solution. I have an idea. It may be extreme, but I also love the fact that the person self-incriminated themselves in their message. The message is, okay, I'm ready for the onslaught. Dear God, John, I just read smoking is not allowed in the casino unless we are playing and giving money to the cruise line. And there is nowhere to smoke at all on embarkation day until after the boat leaves because of fuel. God help me, so I can't go there. How difficult would it be to go smoke outside of the boat where you are not bringing on the fuel? All of us smokers and all of us vapors are confused. I've already resigned myself smoking on the balcony, but it would be nice to be able to enjoy our smoking area. We are humans. Why can't it be 50-50 smoking in major transit spaces? I have many friends who do smoke and cruise. It's the old smoking thing. I feel like this is probably just made up, like this is somebody just trolling, and maybe John's of course using this to reiterate the smoking policy. All of those things layered together for the effective use of social media. Certainly you can't smoke during the bunkering operation. When cruise ships are being fueled, they want no smoking on the cruise ship. Is it dangerous? Is it not dangerous? There's a big debate about that. I say we err on the side of caution. If there's any kind of chance of calamity because of smoking during bunkering, let's do the no smoking. And then of course there's no smoking in the casino unless you're gambling. I think that's a great move that Carnival's made over the last few years, because prior to that, when anybody could just smoke in the casino, those casinos would get really smoked out, and it would be hard for people that have trouble with smoke to deal with all of that smoke. I think that's a fair compromise. If you're going to gamble, you can smoke it up. And then the final point of contention is, I'm just going to smoke on my balcony anyways, which is completely not allowed. They're going to charge you $500 if you get busted, and they kind of want people to snitch on each other. This is the solution that I came up with, at least for the embarkation. I can't make it through embarkation because I have to smoke. I think that if you identify yourself as a smoker on embarkation day, you should get free nicotine patches. What if Carnival did a nicotine patch package? You could get up to 15 nicotine patches a day on embarkation day for one low price. Or should they just give it to you for free? I don't know. They'll give you seasickness medicine for free. I'm just spitballing here. What about Zyns? I've seen so many of these alpha male machismo dudes. So Zyns, all the benefits of nicotine without the negative side effects of tobacco. Anybody zenning it up out there? Does it give you clarity? I'm afraid to try something that I could get addicted to. And I'm not really that machismo. So I don't know. Thanks so much for checking out today's episode. Please hit that like button on the way out. And also, please remember to check out Scentbird and click this QR code here. Use the promo code LLL55 to get a discount off of your first month. Thanks, Scentbird, for sponsoring today's episode. This is Tony for La Lido Loca. And until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.